during all the... Any thoughts? Or what is something that left in your mind, like...
We learned about the setup of book 2 and how a lesson is set up. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Anyone else?
We talked about career and jobs for students and how we can help them to develop their career, and they confront with challenges, and they able to find solution for their challenges. And we talk about tools to help students clarify their thinking, and they can make an informed decision in their lives. And we talk about 2-track in enterprise there and entrepreneurship, and teacher choose a track and compare in 2 works, and do portfolio interviewing with students for helping them to find their job or work. Talk about initial and motivation assessment, guidance, coaching. I think.
Thank you very much for the details. You have remembered everything almost that we have done yesterday. Yeah, Albina, want to share with us something? Yes, Albina.
Уважаемые коллеги, я хочу отметить, что по итогу первой книги мы поняли, что когда мы проводим или когда фасилитаторы проводят тренинг по поводу первой книги, они в конце должны дать участнику делать правильный выбор, либо трудоустройство, либо предпринимательство. Да, вот. Ну, я не буду все описывать, потому что у меня есть все в 2-3 страницах. Ну, в конце, в целом, это хотела отметить. Спасибо.
So what Albina was saying is that by the end of first book, it was very clear for them to understand that the participants must select. You have to give them the option to select whether they want to go with the entrepreneurship or with the professional development. And that must be really clearly explained to them. So they will have a choice.
So if you remember yesterday, several times we highlighted that decision for which track the children or the participants will follow is based on their strength and their goals in their life. So it's like not only a decision of because they want that, but because of their personal interest. And today we are going to continue with the book number 2. We will be focused on the book number 2 directly, and we will do some actions. In fact, we will turn the learning that we have so far into the action, and we will see several lessons from the curriculum that we have. We haven't done that yesterday, so we will just start looking what concretely is in the book number 2. I will share the screen again in order for all of you to see what I'm talking, because we are usually always, in fact, we are trying to put some words in the PowerPoint. So what is the idea here? After your participants or your children have completed the social and financial skills curriculum, they have made the choice. We said this several times. So now within the book 2, the children are following the employability track. And this is the decision is made based on their personal strengths and goals. So during this manual for the employability skills, we will continue working to develop the core social and financial skills concept. And you or us as a facilitator will be helping them to turn learning into the action. So learning is meaningless if we don't have a next step, and the next step is the action. And the ultimate goal is to get employment, to have a gainful employment. This book number 2, so keep the book number 2 nearby, because yesterday I think that we had, when we worked, you had downloaded the book, but keep it nearby, because even when we will work in the groups, you will need to go to a certain session and to read there. So if you don't find the book, I will tell you later where you can find again in the platform. But the idea today is that we are going to work all the day with the book number 2. So this book goes beyond the basis of job searching and workplace skills by also including understanding of the rights, identifying personal strengths to corresponding with the work possibilities, how to use effective communication, and maybe one of the most important in this in book is to manage time and resources in the proper way. So participants will gain the skills, knowledge, and the confidence in order to get or to obtain decent work opportunities, and that always is aligned with their personal goal and interest. So when we will work together, it's not only the goal here, or the objective is not only for the participants to know how to write, for example, a CV, but also when we are getting the work for a CV, for example, participants also will learn how to use effective communication, how to understand, and they will be aware for their personal strengths with understanding of the rights. For example, we can train the participants in order to be very effective in doing a motivation letter, doing a CV. But if we don't empower participants to fight for their rights, and as a worker, they need to know their rights, so doing only one part is meaningless if you don't have the whole picture. So the idea is to empower them from like holistic approach, to have to know the right and to have the skill to write a CV, motivation letter, and to do the proper time management. This book, Employability Curriculum, follows the similar route as the social and financial skills portion, but this is also encouraging and try to develop participants' awareness from the beginning when we start about their skill set, about strength and weakness, personal interest, confidence, and their abilities, but also to explore the job possibilities and to set the employment goals. That is very, very important for the young person to have these skills, the confidence, and to search for employment. Okay. The ultimate goal is that with this curriculum will help the young people to bring more of them into the workforce, but in the meaningful way. So they need to be empowered. And to overreaching goals of AflaYouth are to inspire participants to improve their skills and to increase financial independence for a younger generation. And this last sentence, to increase financial independence, is very, very important. And today, a bit later, we'll work also with Marta, and we will see how financial independence is related to the gender, and what is important and why it's so important to be financially independent, again from different perspectives, but today we will work especially from the gender perspective. If you open the book number 2, you will see that there are several sessions, and we have here the curriculum is content by 10 sessions, and today we are going to be focused on this this part from number 6 session: job search, CV and motivation letter writing, job interviewing. So those 3 topics will be now addressed. So within the groups, we will work very together, and as I said, we will put learning into the action. So now you, as people who are trained for this training, you will be able to see what's in the curriculum, but also to see what are the exercises that we are using for the youth people to get those skills. So there are several that we have selected, but in the book you have much more, and especially in the resource toolkit, you have a lot of examples, a lot of resources there that it will help you in order to make this in the very proper way. Okay, the first activity, and for this activity, we will be divided in 4 groups. And what is the idea? You will go to the platform and you will need to open this part here. I will share the screen with you. Just a second. Okay, so are you all in the platform? Do you have access to the platform? If you scroll down, you will see that now the day number 3 is open, and we are working now in this part, overview of book number 2 about employability skills. So you will have to click here this part, and within the group, you will need to explore this part here. So the first activity that we have, and you will have like 10 minutes to decide in the group what should be in this part. So yeah, this is the document that will be open to you, and one of your group will just try to get notes regarding to this part. What is the idea? If you see for each of the sessions that we have in the book, we have named. So this is the session or first session, and this is like an example what need to be done. So we have number of the session and title of the session, and we have what is the overall outcome for this session, and what are the specific learning objectives. So this is filled for everything. But if you see, for the second one is the part that is missing. So at the number 2, session number 2, which is called making choice types of jobs, you have the overall outcome, but you miss the third part. You miss the specific learning objectives. So if you scroll down these documents, this is the elements that you need to put in the third line or in the second line. So just within the group, try to analyze this to see there are only few of them, and try to put in the right order. So what is in the should be. And then when we came back to the planner, we will discuss together and we will see if we have done in the proper way, or if you have any question, why is this in this part or it's not, we will discuss. Are the instructions clear? Being silent, it means that is clear, everything. Okay, me and Marta will be together with you. Nulifar by default is with us in the group, Russian-speaking group. So if you need any explanation, we will
Нулифар,
do.
вот у меня такой вопрос. Когда мы открываем книгу, да, там же у нас практически сразу с самого начала все выходит на русском языке. И когда мы
Jamila, do you have a
скроллим, да,
question?
мы сейчас, речь идет о упражнении.
It's a
которое
question.
называется
Let me
puzzle, да.
listen and I'll translate. Jamila, извините, я вас
Sorry,
переведу.
I wasn't aware.
Простите. Спрашивайте, Джамиля. Джамиля, значит, когда вы открываете
Я хотела сказать, что когда мы открываем книгу номер 2, то есть на вот, когда скроллим вниз, там же просто первая часть, она идет на английском языке, а мы скроллим до материала, когда начинается пазл, да, мы сейчас о пазле говорили. Потому
там
что
книга,
на экране, да, было не это.
Нет,
Сейчас
там
о
книга
пазле
должна
шла
быть
речь.
на русском языке тоже. То есть, когда вы открываете вот этот сайт, о котором сейчас Луан рассказывал, сначала идет английский вариант, а потом снизу идет уже русский вариант. А когда книгу открываете, это должно быть на русском языке.
So I think I
It
understand
was
the
a
question.
technical question, yes.
So if you scroll down, you will find the Russian version of the puzzle. So in your group, you will work from the Russian puzzle, the Russian language. So I will share again the screen just to make sure that everyone. So everything that we have here, if you scroll down, the same are in the Russian. So this is the probably the puzzle. Yeah. So you need to open this document and
Yes, that's
yeah.
the puzzle. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So again, for all others, just to repeat yeah. So this is the puzzle. There are some parts that are missing. So try to find what is missing and where you will put that, in which section. The other that are here, they are correct. So only the parts are empty. You need to get from this highlighted part and to put there. So don't worry, we will be together with you. We will try to help you. And later in the plenum, we will try to see if we have done in the right way.
Technically, I would like to just ask how much time do we need for that?
10 minutes, it's like, yeah, let's start.
10 minutes, okay.
Yeah.
And the second group will be Russian speaking group.
Okay,
Second
so
one.
I created the groups.
Okay, so we can go. Yes, can I open the
Okay.
groups? Okay.
Yeah. So welcome back. I get information from some of you that having a difficulties to access to the platform again and being part of this training in the proper way with the camera and with the voice and the picture. So we understand that, and we will try after we finish this part of the meeting to fix and to be with you in order to manage proper connection. So thank you for this part, and yeah, let's have a discussion about the puzzle that I give to you. I will share the screen, and now we will work together, all of us, to see what and how we have done this part of the puzzle, how we filled it. So if you see that session number 1 is completed, it has all the elements. What about the session number 2, making choices, and the part regarding to the specific learning objective? What do you think? Do we have, for example, a volunteer who want to share if you feel what should be there, what should be standing there? Maybe just unmute yourself and continue because I'm not seeing all of you. So, or raise your hand. Okay. Anyone?
Okay, I will.
Yes, please, Laura.
Well, for making choices types of jobs, the learning objectives are participants will be able to list the characteristics of the job that appeal to them. Second, describe the key skills employers will ask for in most jobs. And 3, identify how their own skill matches to a job that appeals to them.
Yes, I believe that is the correct answer. Does others have answered like this? Are you agree with this? Okay. especially Ebru, because they were in the same group and she's agreed with Laura always. Okay, let's go to the session number 3, recognizing skills for success in the workplace. What about this? What is missing here? What is the overall outcome in this session? What do you think? Anyone? How did you feel it? Did you manage to go to the third one? In some groups, I think they were finishing almost everything.
Participant will discover more about her and how to suitable jobs for internship or not.
Okay, does someone else have done in the different way?
Luan, I think it can be participants recognize different skills for success in the workplace and gain a deeper understanding of the different facets of communication.
Yeah, that is the correct answer. That is like it should be in this part. And what is about the next one, specific learning objectives? What will be the specific learning objectives for this session? So session number 3, yes. So here the part is about the part is missing is participant will be able to access a range of transferable 21st century skills and values, and why are they important, to see the connection of their behavior to the way that they are perceived by others, including employers, and to reflect to their skills and the best way and to develop them. So this is the right answer. The other session is about the rights and the responsibilities. So we have the title, we have the specific objectives, but we don't have the overall outcome. What do you think is the overall outcome in this part, rights and responsibilities?
Можно добавить, что это концепция, что то, что связано с правами.
The concept which is related to the rights. Пожалуйста, Джамиля.
Да, это занятие закрепляет концепцию прав как важнейшего условия, ну, предпоследний, третий.
So this is the third part, Luan.
So we are now focused on the second, in the fourth, rights and responsibilities in the workplace, and we have the again general specific, in fact, learning objective, and the part that is missing here in the middle here, the overall outcome, and the session, the part that is missing is this session reinforces the concept of rights as essential to human happiness and the well-being. So you have that part that is missing here. Okay, for the 5, maybe it's the first one is easier because there is a number, so it's about my career planning and goal setting. But what about, so that is here, but what about the specific learning objective? What do you think is more appropriate? So when we are talking in this session about my career planning and goal setting, that part with the specific learning objectives are that participants will be able to analyze the reason of the people often ending up in the wrong job, to plan and set the goals for a new career, and to identify how often people we know found the jobs. So this is the thing that is missing here. If we go to the next session, the job search, we have a specific learning objective, but we don't have the part here is missing is about the participant will be discovered more about where and how to find suitable jobs and internships. So this is the lesson which will try to empower the youth in order to find suitable jobs and internships. What about the 7, about the CV and motivation letter writing? So we will work together later in the job search CV and motivation letter as well. So the specific objective is missing here. And what do you think it should be there?
Participants will
Conduct.
be able to conduct a mapping of their qualifications, skills, and experiences. Second, highlight qualifications, skills, and experiences an employer is most interested in. And 3, format these into a clear and concise CV or resume.
Excellent, Laura. That is the part is missing there. Thank you very much. Regarding to the job interviewing, you have the all elements here, so you can see and read what are the elements there. And the last one that is missing here is about the identifying challenges and solutions. So we have the overall objective, but we don't have the specific one. What do you think? What are the specific one for this part, identifying challenges and solution session? So the part that is missing here is about participant will be able to describe common sources of unhappiness or conflict in their workplace, to identify obstacles to the career paths, and to develop positive courses of action for those eventualities. Okay, so for this part and for the other, for example, quizzes or puzzles that we will have in the future or already have so far, you will find this at the end when you finish the course. At the end, you will have a part that is, you are not seeing that, this is only that I see now, but you will have this part. Yeah. So if you go to the platform, the AflaTouth Partner Platform, and at the end of the course, you will have this part with the resources. And within the resources, you will have all the books, all the interesting things, but also you will have the answer key. So you will find what are the correct answer in order for you to have to be empowered and to have everything clear what is there. So you will have those answers as well. Okay, how do you find this activity? It was interesting. We are still getting used to the new curriculum and to the new book about the employability. And the next activity is very specific one. So we will start, like I said before, turning learning into the action. So let me share the screen again with the PowerPoint. So we completed this part with the framework. And that the next thing is to go to the book number 2 and to be focused on session number 7, CV and motivation letter writing. What do you need to do? Again, in the groups, we will have to work together and to see what is the way and what we need to do in order to complete this part. What is how we will see an examples there of CV and motivation letter writing. I'm putting this two times. Sorry. Yes. Okay. So we are again day number 3, overview of the book number 2. Again, we will work in groups, and now we are in this part here, CV and motivation letter writing. So you will open this document, section of the CV puzzle. I will just give me a second. So this is the document that will be opened when you press that part, and you will see, you will discuss within the group what you will see this here. So you will see if everything is in the proper order. So if in the heading, this part should be there or not. For all of this, just think what should be in the proper way. For example, does in the heading need to be name of the employer's dates of employment or something else? Maybe I can give you just a hint. For example, how it's supposed to be in the heading should be this part here. Start your CV with your name, home address, email, and telephone number. So just try within your group to see if this is the proper order. The left side is okay, so this is the element that need to be there. But if the right part is having in the proper order all the elements here. So go to the platform, open this part about the section of the CV puzzle, and then within the group just discuss about the order. Do you think the order is in the proper way? And if it's not, where should what be? Any question?
No.
Again, me and Marta will be together with you and we'll do explanation. Yes.
Можно я хотела уточнить один момент. Вот разделы по резюме написан документ на
Рахат,
я его скачала, а там документ на английском языке.
Рахат,
Да.
я извиняюсь, но мы вас не слышим. Мы слышим, что вы разговариваете, но, к сожалению, вашего голоса не слышно ясно.
Наверное, потому что
Ага.
у меня проблемы с интернетом.
Вы можете написать в
Проблемы
чате.
с интернетом. Я хотела вот этот момент уточнить. Разделы пазла резюме на русском, а когда открыла, там на английском языке.
Вы можете написать в чате, я посмотрю, что за проблема. Хорошо, напишите в чате, пожалуйста. I'm just explaining to the participant that because of her internet connection, we cannot hear her, so she will need to write in the chat. Luan, I think you can go on.
Okay, so go in the groups and open this document and try to discuss. It's not necessary everything because you won't have a lot of time, but just try to discuss about the order. What should be in the first place? What should be in the heading? What should be put when the education and qualification part is there? So just discuss what should be in what order, and then when we came back to the plenum together, we will see what is the proper way, or maybe it's a wrong word to say the proper way, but how we suggest as Aflaton, because there is not the CV writing, for example, it's not a math or it's not a very exact science. So it can be in the different ways, but we are suggesting several models of doing that, and you will have a lot of exercise or a lot of examples of the different types of CV. But this is something that is usually like a common thing, what you need to be on the head, what you need to be in the middle or in different sections. So just go there in the group. We will have 10 minutes to do that, and we will go together back and discuss to see what and how we have done this. We will be together with you in the groups. So yeah, if you have any question, additional thing, we will be there. You
Okay,
can open the groups, yeah.
Okay, so I will just add the information that I've created 2 Russian-speaking groups. In the second group will be Nunifar, but in the first group, I will maybe Juliet, if she can come over there, she can try to be together. But if not, maybe we will just go and with Juliet try to explain everything, okay?
But the thing is that within the group, you are only doing the discussion, so you don't need the translator there to discuss about the order of the of the elements there.
Okay, yes. So for group and first one and second group is Russian speaking group. Okay, so see you later.
Okay. How it was? Did you have any difficulties? Any question regarding to the template that was given to you? We will try not to...
Удивительно, но мы это упражнение сделали очень быстро в нашей группе, поэтому я хотела поблагодарить нашу группу. Очень быстро мы построили резюме.
Okay, Jamila says that in their group, they have actually surprisingly have completed this task very fast. So they have built in everything very, very fast.
Thank you, Jamila, for this. How we will continue now? We have at least two more activities, and we are just gonna do it in the like a shortened variant of this. So I will share the key with you, and you try to compare your answer with the key that I will share with you. So if you have any question about that, just we will discuss together in the group. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
I will try to zoom it a bit more.
Okay. Better.
No. What do you think? Is this the proper way? Or from your experience, would you suggest
мы
to do
уверены,
some
что мы его сделали правильно.
changes?
Well, Jamila says that they are sure that they have completed it correctly.
Excellent, Samila. Thank you. You remember that when we spoke yesterday or day before in the first day for this school to work transition, very often we get, even we had research for that, according to the employers, a lot of children or a lot of young people, when they are finishing the school or the faculty and they go to job, they don't know some essential things to do. For example, maybe they know in the theory or everything about the how it's the market, and they know about the demand and everything, but they are not very aware, or they don't have a skill to write a simple CV, for example, and they are doing a lot of mistakes doing a CV, or not understanding the importance of having a good CV. Because when you send a CV to the employer, they are not seeing you, they are seeing only that you have written there. And the idea for this CV template that we are sharing with you is that you need to be very concrete and very specific, because nobody has a lot of time to read like 10 pages of your CV and achievements and everything. So sometimes small things will help us a lot in order to make a proper CV.
Luan, question,
Yes.
because I think Laura also asked this already, but hobbies and interests, it doesn't seem right to me what the key is here.
Можно задать вопрос. Вот структура
Yeah.
действительно очень
This is
понятна, очень
wrong.
четкая.
This is just a
Можно
copy of the other
поинтересоваться,
two.
кто, когда разрабатывалась эта структура, что было взято за основу, или это были какие-то исследования, или что, почему именно это?
Jolene, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't think Jamila saw you
Yeah.
turning on the mic. Let me quickly translate, because I think your question is similar to hers.
Similar, yeah.
Yes, so Luan, the question of Jamila is like, when this structure was developed, what was taken into account for this specific setting and this specific structure? Like, why does it look like this?
Yeah, okay. So as I mentioned before, so the first thing regarding to Jolene and Laura in the group, we were together, we were working. So the idea was that several elements were repeating, and I will check it later and share with you why it's like this. And the other thing regarding to this order of the thing is, I mentioned, it's not an exact science that we need to do like this. So this is something that is most common if you see the CVs, and what is most common that the employers are asking from their, for example, youth when they are applying for work. So are some of the elements that are here. But when you will explore the book and when you will see additional materials that are in the resource toolkit, you will see that there are different models of the CV. Even for the next activity, for example, for the motivation letter, you will see, and yeah, quickly we can move to that part as well. You will see that are several examples of different motivation letter, and they are only example. This is not like we are saying this is the formula, and if you do the CV or the motivation letter that way, is the most appropriate one. So it can be very individual, but just to keep in mind that some of the elements are very important. And always you need to know your employer, where are you applying. So maybe some employers have already a template for a CV, so you need to fill that template and to go according to their rule. But in general, within all the session, we are trying to get this portfolio of the children or of the youth that are part of the training. What is the idea of the portfolio? They will start there. You can think that they are only 15 or 16 or 17 years old children. So they will create an CV and then a motivation letter and other elements, and they will just add to those CV additional information. After they finish, for example, one course, they will add that course to their CV. But this is something like a base to have something that they are starting. And for some employers, some elements are not very important. To others, they can be more relevant and important. So this is not a science that we say that this must be like this. You can reorder, you can resuggest, you can do by your own very personal CV. But this is something very common that is widely used. And the expert who created the curriculum for the AflaYouth has picked example for a different part of the world and just try to suggest a model of the CV. Again, you will find another examples as well. You will see, now I will share the screen regarding to the next topic that we have, and this is regarding to the motivation or cover letter. So even if I share this first, just give me a second. Within the book, you will find also several examples like this. For example, so skills that employees value and seek in general. So this is something that is like integrated in several, and they are some suggestions or examples of the statements that our team is suggesting how to start the statement. So for example, for communication or for IT or for teamwork or something, there is different sentences that are usually more common and more widely used for the youth that can be used. So you will find all those elements in the book and in the resource toolkit, but also they will be in the platform for a long time. So at any time you can go and see. But also the internet is like a huge give a huge possibility. So you can also search at different models and different types of the CV and motivation letter as well. But this is something that we are suggesting and what is in the book. If you go to the platform, just a second. So if you go to the platform, you will see for the next activity, the motivation part or the cover letter activity, we are giving several motivation letter examples. And you can read those and you can create your own motivation letter. And always keep in mind that motivation letter should be very personal. So you have a lot of examples. What are the elements of the motivation letter? But again, you will decide what you will take in consideration and how you will create your motivation letter. For us as adults, it's maybe not very hard task to do, but for the children or for the youth who are just finishing the education, secondary education, this can be very hard thing to do, and that's why we are providing with the different examples of motivation letter. So later you will have an opportunity to go through these materials and to see what are the key elements there, what is important to have, and you have all again here a checklist. So you can check if you have all the elements. Sometimes we are forgetting something important. Maybe we are starting to do the motivation letter and we are having this desire to show everything, but sometimes we are missing some key elements. And the idea is, if you have the checklist, just to go like one by one and to see if you covered everything in your motivation letter. And again, this is not a science. This is not something that we are saying it must be done like this. This is only one suggestion or most common suggestion that you can find in different curriculums. The last thing is about the job interviewing. And for this part, we have prepared some questions and you will be divided again in the groups. You will have 10 minutes. And this is like a self-assessment. We are not checking you, just within the group, try to read the questions and what are the suggested answer, for example. Again, you need to go to the platform. Just make sure that. So if you go to the platform overview of book number 2, if you scroll down, here you have the examples that I was mentioning for the cover letter. The last part is about the interview questions. What is the idea? Try within the group to use the interview question chart that is in the platform and try to answer this question. And for example, within the group, one of you can pretend that is a young person who is I don't know want to get the job, and the other is the employer, for example, and just see the question and try to think what are the elements that are there or something if you think that something is missing. For example, I don't know if you see my screen. Yeah. For example, if you go and look for a job and you are in the interview, those are some of the most common questions that the employers are asking. But nevertheless, again, and for this part is the same. They are not like 100% that employers will ask you those questions, but in general, you can rely to this question because usually they are asking something for yourself. So tell me something about yourself, describe your working experience, what are the your strengths and weaknesses. So you can see a lot of questions here, and you have a suggestion or a guide how to respond, what to be focused on. Usually when you apply for a job in one or bigger organization, for example, UNICEF, they are having again some questions that are in internet that you can find what are the most common questions that the HR in UNICEF are asking to the participants. So there are some general ones and some very specific ones. So if you are applying for the finance in the one organization or in the NGO, you will expect some general information, general question for you, and then something very specific for the finance, for example. Let's try in next 10 minutes before the break just to go to the platform to see those questions and try within the group to discuss those questions. You can maybe ask and see how your colleague will answer those questions. Again, those are only suggestions, and the guidance is like for you to have the idea about what you should be focused when answering that. Any question? I know that I'm talking too much. I'm sorry, especially Nulipar for this. Okay, let's be in the groups. Just open the section that I mentioned in the platform and try to see the question and the proposed answers. And we will be back and start discussion if we have any need for just to discuss and to clarify something. Marta, can you open the, yeah, thank you.
We cannot hear you, Luan.
Yeah, I was trying to ask Shadi for her profession, only translator or a teacher or something, because I see the whiteboard behind her. So
Yes, because here I'm teaching English and I'm coach, and inside all of them I'm translator, and I teach English with my colleagues. Yes, and whiteboard for in my office is related to my work.
okay, thank you. Before we go to the break, just to emphasize something. So the job interview session is like 120 minutes. It's a 2-hour session, and when you will deliver this session with your participants or children, you will see that there are several activities there, and you need to give them the time that we are not giving to you, because you are doing in 12 minutes something that should be done in 120 minutes. So I understand completely if you cannot manage everything, but this is only to give you an idea about the elements that are in the session, what you need to be careful and what you need to do to suggest to the children. And the overall objective, or maybe the overall message that we need to give when we are doing those interviews, is just to make aware them for the questions. So those questions will be maybe the same sometimes, but very often they will differ. But there are some questions that are very common, very often used. So like, tell me about yourself, what are your weaknesses, strengths. So those are the most common questions that are asked by the employers in general. You had the chance to go through the interview questions and the suggestion or the guidelines there. So what do you think can be useful for your participants or for your children, youth, when you will teach that? And do you think that they are aware some of you are working a lot with the children. So do you think that they are aware about those elements? It is important to be prepared. When you go to the interview, the key thing is to be prepared. So the preparation include to search about the employer, to try to find everything that is relevant for this employer, and then you can prepare your own questions that you can assume that can be asked to you. Okay, Jamila has something to share? Yes, please.
Да, да, я хотела поделиться. Ну, у меня нет опыта работы с детьми, и тем более это для меня абсолютно новая сессия о том, как правильно прийти и подготовиться к интервью. Но я хотела сказать о своем опыте. Много лет назад я подавала на одну позицию в один проект серьезный. И буквально как бы это был уже последний этап собеседования, когда решается вопрос, принимать тебя на работу или нет. Но я сделала там просто невероятные ошибки. Вот сейчас, когда я смотрю на это и думаю, если бы у меня была бы эта структура ответов, я бы прошла бы на эту позицию. Но случилось так, что я абсолютно неправильно, наверное, ответила на вопросы, которые мне задавал работодатель. То есть я неправильно ответила, я это прекрасно понимаю. Поэтому это очень важно, вот, исследовать этой структуре. И я думаю, что такая возможность правильно научить человека, ребенка в данном случае, да, подготовиться к интервью, это очень серьезно. Это одно из главных условий, чтобы получить ту работу, которую ты хочешь.
So Jamila says that she doesn't have the experience of working with the children, but she wants to bring your attention to her own experience. Many years ago, she was going through the interview process or in one of the significant projects that she has applied to. And it was the last stage of the job. So she was going to go through an interview. And, now that she looks at these questions, she realized that she gave completely wrong answers. And that is the reason why she didn't get the job. So it is of critical importance to have the proper understanding of the requirements of the employer and to be totally prepared for the interview answers. And especially when you are a young person, she believes it is going to give them and save them so much time and energy. So it's really important.
Jamila, when you open this session number, I think it was 8 about the job interview, in the part with the keywords, there are only 3 keywords there: preparation, how it was the other thing, interview. So in general, preparation and integration, integrity, in fact. So you need to be very well prepared. The word preparation there is highlighted because for everything, the preparation is key. If you are very well prepared, so yeah, this is a good example to end for this part. So thank you, Jamila, with this. You deserve the coffee and the break. So thank you for this part. We will continue after the break with Marta. Marta will tell us how many seconds we have a break.
Seconds? No, maybe minutes. Do you need, I don't know, 12, 15 or 10? What do you think? 15 minutes or 12? 15? 15,
Yes,
okay.
15.
Okay, so we will give you 15 minutes just to rest a bit. Okay, thank you. So I will share the timer with you, especially those are who has yes, camera off. Yes, thank you. You are here. Okay, so we will have last hour. Oh no, I will not share this one. Okay, our last hour of today's meeting we will try to have a nice and productive discussion. And I will tell you about the topic that we've got for the last hour. So now I would like to focus and dive into the topic which is important in AflaYouth program and of course in Aflaton program, gender. So it's very important to prepare ourselves to have this type of discussion, especially paying attention to the gender equity in the workplace during our sessions. So the promoting gender equity, whether you are a trainer or teacher, is very important during the whole process. And this session that we will have in a minute invites you to have some kind of reflection upon your own possible gender biases before looking at several exercises which we will use during AflaYouth training. The aim of this session is to enable teachers and trainers alike that gender equity is the heart of the social justice. So all of Aflaton's educational materials are designed this way to change gender stereotypes and to promote gender equity. At the end of this session, we will try to dive into more to promoting awareness of the gender bias. So you will now have the opportunity to begin and analyze how gender roles affect all of us. For this, we will create 4 groups, and in these groups, as you can see, we have the clock. And on this clock, during the exercise, please try to think what in every hour, what typically men and women are doing at each hour of the day in your community, typically. So think about this people in the relation to work. So please try to create maybe a painting or try to focus on the each hour of the day. So but every group will have every group need to focus on the different type of groups. So first group will should think of women and men from rural areas. Second group, please think of women and men from urban areas. Third group, please think about older women and men. I will not say which age is appropriate. You will decide together. And fourth, think of younger women and men. You will see when you will join to the group in which group you are, just to think about this idea. So in the group, for every different hour, please write down the typically activities, what they are doing during each hour. So please have a note taker and presenter in your group, and after our 15 minutes work, we will come back to the plenary and try to paint and to show the view of men and women in these groups. I will send you on the chat the information which group needs to think about what kind of men and women. So okay, I will try to open the groups now. just give me a second because, okay, we have everyone here. So I will just, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you will have 15 minutes to discuss about this. Do you have any questions?
Excuse me, we should talk about activities that women and men do it in the hours of work.
No, not hours of the work, whole day. So think about them
In the
where
morning at
in the
night.
morning, during the day, especially during the work, but after work, what they are doing. So what kind of activities they have, what kind of responsibilities they have. So please about this type of groups in your rooms. Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Maybe more questions do you have? Okay, if not, I will create the groups. So see you in 15 minutes. Hello, hello. Okay. We will just wait 1 minute for rest of the groups and try to focus on the women and men in different type of places.
Медея, Лела с вами находится? Окей, тогда я вам пришлю, она мне написала в чате, тогда я вам пришлю, чтобы она смогла бы прочесть, хорошо? Окей.
Мы в одной комнате, Джульетта.
Я знаю, из-за этого я написала. Хорошо, тогда если она там, я ей тоже напишу. Вот. Окей.
Знаю, почему у меня так получается, не могу понять. Я вот вроде бы захожу.
Давайте тогда вы останьтесь после этой сессии и посмотрим, что там за проблема. Хорошо? Окей?
Сегодня вряд ли у меня получится, тогда давайте завтра, если вам не сложно.
Хорошо. Пожалуйста.
Спасибо большое.
Пожалуйста. Okay, sorry guys.
Okay, I think that everyone came back from the groups. So I would like to ask the first group, which was thinking about women and men from rural areas, to present the picture of the day that they created during the discussion. Who would like to start?
У нас должна была Джамиля презентовать что-то. У нее там
Вот Джамиля сейчас присоединилась, Альбина. Джамиля вот только что присоединилась. So they were supposed to be presented by Jamila, and Albina was saying that she doesn't see her. But Jamila just joined us in. Nilufar, shall I stop the translation then for this moment? Okay. Jamila, вы можете презентовать. Пожалуйста.
Thank you.
Да, спасибо. Мы провели обсуждение в нашей группе, и мы готовили портрет мужчины и женщины, которые проживают в местной, деревенской местности. Значит, у нас, в принципе, рабочий, рабочий день начинается одновременно, то есть в 5 утра встают у нас мужчины и женщины вместе, и кто намаз делает, кто это, вот, но все это одновременно. Потом, конечно, после намаза мужчина может отдыхать, женщина занимается уборкой, подготовкой домашней работы, готовит завтрак в 7 уже завтракаются, и в 8 все разъезжаются. Если среднестатистический мужчина у нас, он либо работает в поле в деревне, либо подтаксовывает и так далее. А женщины в основном домохозяйки. Они остаются дома, и все домашние работы, включая работы на собственном огороде, связанные с заготовкой, стиркой и так далее, вот в течение дня эта деревенская женщина все это сама готовит. В 6 часов вечера возвращаются с работы, она всех встречает, готовит ужин, кормит всех. Вот, и потом уже ближе к 7, к 8 часам мужчина, у него время на встречу со своими друзьями, телевизор, отдых и так далее, он продолжается. А женщина, к сожалению, занимается вот домашней работой, готовит уроки, стирка и так далее, все, что остается. И вот среднестатистическая семья, мужчина уходит как бы отдыхать. В 11 часов у женщины вся эта работа еще пока продолжается. И где-то в 12:30 она может позволить себе уйти отдыхать. Вот так у нас выглядит, может быть, не очень это, но по мнению группы, вот примерно так выглядит портрет мужчины и женщины, которые проживают в сельской местности.
All right. So the picture is quite sad. But let me demonstrate it. So basically they had the description of the schedule for a man and a woman from a rural area. So they both wake up at 5 a.m. They do their prayings, and the woman is supposed to get the breakfast done by 7 a.m. So the man has breakfast, and then at 8 he leaves home for work, which usually would be probably going to the field to work, like agricultural work. And the woman is typically a housewife. She will stay at home. She will do the laundry. She'll prepare the food. She will work in their own garden, maybe. By 6 p.m., the husband is back. The man is back. And the woman serves dinner to him. And at 8 p.m., the man has time to spend time with his friends, to watch TV, to do some relaxation, and the woman is still doing the housework. If they have children, then she does the homework with them, the rest of the laundry that is left from the morning, and so on. And at 11 p.m., he has time to go to sleep, and she still is working with all the housework. And at 12:30 at night, finally she gets some time to herself, and she decides whether to relax or just go to bed. Quite sad, but typical, realistic, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for this picture and for this presentation. We can imagine that it's like a true true picture. Okay, we will have discussion later, so I will leave it like, please remember the picture in your head somehow. Okay, so second group, women and men from urban areas. What kind of picture do we have from this group?
Я коротко повторю то, что мы обсуждали. Ну, у нас женщина и мужчина встают одинаково в 7 утра. Женщина у нас работает в школе, ну, как бы в основном не такая мягкая профессия. Мужчина у нас госчиновник. Что они делают как бы одинаково? Утренние процедуры. Может быть, они завтракают, чашка кофе, бутерброд, а может и нет. Может, по ходу дела на работе. Но одинаково они в 9:00 идут на работу. Значит, работают до часа мужчина, может перерыв себе устроить час. А женщина как получится, так как она учительница. Если у нее есть окошечко, она может перекусить. Вот. Женщина заканчивает в 4 работу, бежит в магазин, в супермаркет, опять что-то покупает, значит, идет домой, тоже убирает, готовит, проверяет опять тетрадки, следит за собой, я не знаю, выглядит соответственно, ухоженно. Вот, и только к 12 ложится спать. Мужчина что делает после работы? Заканчивает он у нас в 18:00, 6 часов вечера. Идет с друзьями, идет пиво, там, не знаю, еще что-то ест. И вот так где-то около 2 часов. Приходит домой, среднестатистический мужчина, он живет с мамой. Мама ему приготовила ужин. Он опять попадает в комфортную ауру, условия. Ложится на диван после ужина, смотрит телевизор, отдыхает и так засыпает. Вот. Ну, и потом мама его будет и укладывает спать в 11:00. Ну, как бы вот так, среднестатистических мужчин и женщин. Далее. За пример. Спасибо.
This one is more comedic, I would say. This one was about men and women from urban area. So they both wake up at 7 a.m. and they assumed that a woman is a teacher, a more of a softer job, and the man works for the government. So they both have breakfast around the same time, and at 9 they both take off to work. And the man has a break at approximately 1 p.m. for lunch. The woman, if she gets some pauses from the work because she's a teacher, she eats. She finishes her job at 4 p.m. She heads to the supermarket, buys groceries, comes home, cleans, cooks, checks the notebooks, the tests from her students, does some self-care, and goes to bed at 12. And the man comes home at he finishes job at 6 p.m. He goes out with his friends after work to drink some beer, and they assumed that a man in the city, in the urban area, still lives with his mom. So he comes back home, eats some food prepared by his mom, and then relaxes on the sofa, watches TV, and then falls asleep. And then his mom wakes him up and puts him to bed at 11 p.m. So that's the typical view of this group onto men's and women's schedule throughout the day.
I think mom would never wake him up. Mom would put the, like something to cover him, that she would never dare waking him up, in my opinion.
Okay, good point. Good. So thank you for this picture. Thank you for this presentation. It was very clear for us. So we will take it with us and then we will try to discuss it. Okay, so next group, older and women and men. I don't know where, but they are older. So third group, I would like someone from your side to present. Who would like to start the presentation?
One who wrote the notes, actually, we were with Jolene and Shadi, and we kind of agreed that, let's say, retype people maybe to specify in our mind the age range maybe. And we also, before starting, we asked ourselves, should we think in a biased way or should we be ourselves? So we choose to be ourselves and kind of wrote a general common story, but without thinking from a perspective of man or woman, like a people, a retired people, a retired person, maybe waking up at 7, preparing something to eat, maybe reading a newspaper, and at that time doing phone calls with their daughters or relatives sometimes maybe, and then they can go for gardening or for just feel the sunshine or spending some time in garden, or then walking, maybe going for a walk, for a gym or meditation, yoga they can do. And lunchtime about like 12 or something, and after lunch they may take a nap, and then going for shopping maybe after the nap, grocery shopping, or they can just have their pills if they need to use them. And after this maybe they can go for dinner if it is almost evening, and after dinner they can going for a walk with their pets, dogs maybe, and then after dinner watching news, making knitting maybe while watching something, or like a tailor they can make a dress, and listening music, drinking something, relaxing, and going for a sleep at around 10 or 11, and then again the same daily circle. Of course the flow can differ from place to place, but it's kind of a summary. Or do you want to add something, Jolene or Shadi?
Just wanted to ask if they have different type of I don't know, things that they need to do during the day, responsibilities. Do you think they are the same, or for example, women, they are doing mostly something, I don't know, at home, or did you talk a bit about that?
We don't want to think that way actually. Women always do this or men always do this. We don't want to come up with this idea actually. This should be maybe for a typical flow of a day. Of course the story can differ. Of course it is a very kind of specific example, just an example for us, but I don't know, we don't want to think that way actually.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the presentation and for the picture. Okay, so maybe a fourth group can present younger women and men. Who would like to present their day?
Okay, I was with Katja, and we thought about a day for the younger people, and we had students in mind between 19 and 24 years old. And what we thought is, well, around 7:30, the women wake up, and a man around 8:30, and they will have or shower, making breakfast, and go to college around 9 until around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And of course that can differ during the week, but during that time they are attending classes, they have some study hours, having lunch, some social time, and then between 4 o'clock in the afternoon and 7 o'clock in the evening, they will go home or doing some shopping for dinner, and will cook in the evening or have some social time, or maybe they have to go to work, or they have to do some study. And then after dinner, there's time for studying, social, watching TV, or going to the gym, and or going out. And maybe a man will watching a movie or gaming in the evening. I think they will probably do more that more than a woman. And around 11, 12, a woman will go to bed and a man after 12. And I think maybe the main differences between women and men is maybe the sleeping hours, and the study hours, and different kind of activities, like for example with sport activities, maybe the men will go to football or to the gym, and the women will go to yoga, do some running or dance, and maybe a woman will spend more time on cooking for herself, and that maybe a man prefer to order some food somewhere or whatsoever. So.
Okay, thank you, Laura, for the presentation. So now we've got few pictures in our head, or maybe one global. So how do you feel about these pictures as a group? What do you think individually? What do you feel about these differences?
Это разница естественная, продиктованная бытом, жизнью, традициями.
So Medea says that these differences are natural. It is being dictated by traditions, by culture, by... She also mentioned something, I forgot. Tradition, culture. Медея, вы еще что-то сказали.
Ну, обыкновенная жизнь, как бы, да, быт.
It's a regular life, which is there.
Повседневный быт в каждой стране.
Everyday life that we have in every country.
Mm-hmm. What more do you think? Do someone has a different opinion? Does someone have it? If not, so please let us think about AflaYouth program participant. And please imagine the diverse hopes and dreams of these participants and different professions they would like to join, the different workplaces they will be in the future. What social expectation do young people face regarding to their future careers after all these pictures that we've got?
Ну, позвольте мне сказать, да, насколько я знаю, и когда как мы себя воспринимали в достаточно юном возрасте, то есть мы хотели все сразу и сейчас. Поэтому и у молодежи, я так думаю, тоже такие ожидания, что им нужно все сразу. Если это работа, то высокооплачиваемая, идеальная, которая соответствует всем критериям. То есть на какие-то, может быть, это и связано с тем, что молодежь, она более, сказать, если взрослые предпочитают там стабильность, да, в работе и так далее, там какие-то свои привязанности, то молодежь, она очень спокойно срывается с места, и это подтверждает, что текучесть высокая среди молодых специалистов. То есть если будет хорошее предложение, то они могут спокойно поменять работу.
Okay, so Jamila says that she can imagine that the AflaToon members of this program would be exactly like herself in the younger ages, because all young people have more or less the similar attitudes that they want everything now and they everything today. And whether this is job, it should be of highly paid job. And whether this is something else, it should be done the way they prefer. And also she says that they also have this different attitude towards the job or anything else, that if it's not done now or the way they prefer, they will be happy to like leave, because they are very passionate and spontaneous more and so on. So yeah, this is the way that she would imagine.
Mm-hmm. But do you think if we have some kind of traditional maybe way of life that we are observing for men and for women, do you think it can influence somehow their future plans, these young people? For example, if I know that I need to be a person who need to cook during the day, and probably I need to skip my work because I will not have the chance to work. Do you think if they are thinking about this typical picture that you've presented?
Да, я вот хотела сказать, действительно, менталитет, он тоже определяет поведение молодежи, да. Мы знаем, у нас есть регионы, где девушка, она знает, что ей нужно не обязательно получать там образование, и для нее вовремя надо выйти замуж по завершению, до достижения совершеннолетия. Есть у нас и такие регионы, но есть и продвинутая молодежь. То есть девушки не знают, допустим, что ей нужно там сделать карьеру, добиться каких-то высот, получить образование, и она себя видит с высокой позицией в бизнесе, на другой работе. Поэтому мы это все понимаем, и, конечно же, это накладывает определенный отпечаток менталитета. Это тоже очень серьезные вещи. Вот это имеет место быть.
So Jamila says that the mentality and the environment also play the huge role in person's formation. For example, there are some places where once the girl is born, she knows that for the certain age she must get married, must have a family, and the education is not an important part. But there are the other types of girls who believe that career advancement, education is an important part of their development, so they will pursue that path. So that really depends on the mentality of the group we are talking about.
Yes, of course, it depends on the mentality, the what people can see around them. It's connected with the family, of course, but at school, we can have a lot of discussions what girls or boys can do. So sometimes it can influence them somehow. This type of picture can influence their future even. And do you think have you ever was a witness of gender discrimination in the workplace?
May I add something, Marta?
Yes, please, Luan.
Not as a trainer, maybe as a participant. So sometimes the expectation that we have as a society for the woman or the women in general are influencing a lot how the woman or women in general will be behavior, and what they will do and what they will achieve in their life. And again, if you see all the materials, Aflaton materials, are designed, as Marta mentioned, to to attack all the stereotypes and prejudices that we are having against the women. But nevertheless, we are very aware that we are all coming from the different part of the world, and the gender issues are in the different way shown. So sometimes it's very visible, sometimes it's not very visible, but the discrimination is existing all over the world, even in the most developed country. For example, I can share the information with you that according to the statistics, the man and the woman are paid differently because of the gender. So even in the European Union, so for the same job, for the same, everything the same, they are paid differently. So you can imagine the situation that today me and Marta are having the same training. We are dedicating the same time, everything doing as same. And at the end of the day, I will be paid more than Marta. And
I have to intervene. In Aflatun, you guys are paid equally.
Is it? Yeah. That was my next step. So as a Aflaton and the other organization maybe are not doing that, but statistically, even in the European Union, we have some statistics that are telling us that that is not the proper way, and they are paid differently. But this is only one part of the discrimination. Women are discriminated in many occasions, in many times, and sometimes women are discriminated not only one time, but they have like multiplied discrimination. So sometimes you are discriminated because you are a woman, sometimes you are discriminated because you are woman and single mother, sometimes you are discriminated because you are woman, single mother, and you are Roma, for example. So the discrimination is not only one-dimensional, but multidimensional. And not to talk about the statistics who are saying that every 11 minutes one woman is killed because it's a woman, so no other reason. And so you can imagine that during this training that we have now for 2 or 3 hours, almost 15 or 16 women are killed worldwide. So when you are seeing those statistics, we need to be very upset, and this is why Aflaton is addressing this issue. All the materials are addressing this issue, and at the beginning, when we were starting and working, creating the different curriculums, we had a lot of feedback from the people all over the world. First, you are delivering financial education, so why is it important gender to be part of it? So you understand now why it's important. And sometimes we are getting a feedback from our partner organization that sometimes they cannot deliver, especially the sessions that are gender related. So because of the prejudice, because of the sometimes of the mainstream religion or something, they cannot deliver everything that is in the session. So you need just to be aware that discrimination is existing in all over the world, in every country in the world, not only in some countries. And we need to find the way how to fight against the discrimination, not because the discrimination itself, but because of the how to say the repercussions that they have for the life of the young people. And I'm also a member of the board of the Aflaton, and very often I'm seeing this big picture, and I'm seeing how much can do, for example, the women or the young girls can do when you empower them, when they are not scared for their security. And again, to come back to the word that we were talking together in the first part of the day, financial independence. So when the girl became financial independent, they won't agree to be discriminated. They won't agree to have less, for example, wage as for one job. And this is the idea. We need to empower the children, but also especially women and young girls, to empower them, because the world will be a better place to live if we are all equal, especially do something for the women in general. Sorry for
Thank you.
my subject. I feel that I need to share this because this is something that is very personal to me and part of my professional life.
Thank you very much, Luan, that you've shared with us your opinion and your picture that you've got in your head. And this is very important element that we need to consider during our workshop. So we need to give not only the participants the chance to think of it, but we need to go on this metacognition level during our, for example, trainings for teachers, for educators. They need to think if they have some kind of hidden biases and how they are trying to, I don't know, show girls that they need to do something differently, or they need to clean the classroom because they are the girls, and boys they need to be very strong to carry something in the class. So two ways. We need to be focused on gender issues with children, but with the teachers and educators too. That's why I will not try to watch it because we are running out of time, but on the platform you can see a very nice movie that you can show every teacher what kind of how to eliminate this gender bias in the classroom, what elements you've got during the whole process. So please, if you will have time after the meeting, please try to look at this movie. It's really quick and very interesting, and we've got a great exercise that you can use during your training, some kind of reflection on your hidden biases. So you can do that for your own. We have this achieving gender inclusive teaching, so you can do it as a private reflection, but you can give this questionnaire to the two teachers, to educator, and they need to think through what kind of biases they have and what they need to change, and what can they do differently during lessons in this matter. So not only to speak about the gender, but behave in the way and work in the way that it's not like in the way that we can influence somehow the choices of young people because of tradition, because of the expectations that society have from them. Thank you very much for the whole reflections that we've got today, and it was very deep, and we've got a very fruitful meetings in your groups and here on the plenary. Thank you very much for today, and tomorrow we will, if you have any questions, you can ask now. If not, you can remember about this activity feed parking zone. You can park your questions if you have something in your mind, so you can put some question over there and we can try to answer it for everybody. And tomorrow we will start at 8 till 12. We will have the meeting as today.
9.
I'm sorry, from 9. So sorry, 9 till 12. Yes, I was thinking that, yeah, 8. It's very nice time to start. No, at 9, of course, at 9 till 12. And do we have any technical issues still with the platform? If not,
Мы завтра начинаем в это же время, да?
В то же время. She was asking if we start exactly the same time.
Yes, exactly the same time. Okay, so for today, I would like to thank you for the participation, active participation, and we will see tomorrow with the new book. If you would like to look at it, you will find it on the platform. In the assignment, you will have the book number 3, but if you will not have time, tomorrow definitely we will have more time to look at it and focus a little bit on the topics that there are put in the book. So Luan, do you want to add something more?
Just to say thank you, and tomorrow we will continue with the book number 3.
Yes.
Thank you. We are on time, and see you tomorrow.